guest today is known for repairing horrible boob jobs, disfigured nose jobs, and terrible tummy tucks with life-changing results. I want you to help me welcome world-renowned plastic surgeon Dr. Terry Dubrow, star of E!Television's new reality series entitled BOTCHED. Welcome to the show, Dr. Dubrow.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to say congratulations on your new show. I mean, I watched the show, right? And I had so many questions for a plastic surgeon, so I was really excited to have you on the show. And one of my questions for you is, why did you decide to repair botched surgeries done by other plastic surgeons?
Well, Dr. Nassif and I, who have been friends for a long time, were talking the other day before the show started, and he said, what percent of your practice is fixing revisional plastic surgery, bad plastic surgery that went wrong? And I said, it's about 45%. And he said the same thing, because after you practice plastic surgery for a long enough time, you start to get the really difficult cases. So we both experienced plastic surgery on television. I did a program called The Swan, and then another program he called Bridalplasty. We both decided, let's do a show, if we can, to show a cautionary side of plastic surgery when it goes bad. Mm-hmm. And let's do something that uses our skill and our experience to help people who are at their last bit of rope with their plastic surgery. So we did a little sizzle reel. He loved it, and they decided to do this show, which is on Sunday nights at 10 o'clock after the Kardashians, and it's unplugged and crazy and entertaining and interesting.
And, I learned something from watching your show. The young lady who had the rhinoplasty done, and she said she was 40, and your partner was like, this isn't a 40-year-old nose. And he could tell by the bone in her nose, I think the cartilage had calcified, and he was able to realize that this wasn't a 40-year-old nose. And I got the impression that she could have been maybe older than 40. Is that true?
In that situation, it's possible, but you do run into that, particularly with patients who have had a lot of different plastic surgery procedures. You never really know what they had done, whether what they're telling you is true, but you use your abilities, you take the best histories you can, and then you take them to the operating room and give them the best effort they possibly can. In her case, she may have been that age, but her bones were, older anatomically.
Okay. And on your show, you're going to have a gentleman by the name of Toby Sheldon. He's 34, and he recently made headlines for spending over $100,000 to look like his idol, Justin Bieber. And so he's going to try to do some transitioning by reducing his forehead and also shaving down his jawline. What do you tell people that come into your office wanting to look like other celebrities?
I tell them the best way to look like another celebrity is not through surgery. It's through diet, exercise, and makeup, and your hair. Surgery to look like celebrities is a mistake, and we recommend against it. And any board-certified plastic surgeon that you run into is not going to be interested in doing that kind of surgery. In Toby's case, we were looking at him for, he's had so many operations, and whether he had problems from some of them, and we can help him. And we also try to sort of lead them and guide them and talk them out of pursuing, because at the end of the day, which Justin Bieber is he trying to look like? The 15-year-old one, or the kooky 21-year-old one, or the balding 35-year-old Justin Bieber? So, so which is it? So it's just never an effective way to achieve your results in plastic surgery by pursuing a surgical solution to look like a celebrity.
Okay. Now, I'm always wanted to ask a plastic surgeon this question. When people do not like the looks that God gave them, and then they're unhappy with the looks that man gave them, meaning plastic surgeons, will they ever be happy, Dr. Dubrow?
Yeah, that's a good question. We always talk about this thing called body dysmorphia disorder, where patients have a different image of themselves than what they really have in the world. These are people you need to evaluate very carefully and make sure you're not operating on them. Because if you do, first of all, they're never going to be happy, they're never going to stop, and they're going to end up botched. Because if you have enough surgery, even by the best surgeons on the planet, you're going to run into a complication. Then you're going to end up in our office with a desperately botched problem, and you're going to be Sunday nights on E! After the Kardashians, where we show you how to fix it and what went wrong to begin with.
Do you ever have patients that have plastic surgery, were not happy with the results, and realize that they didn't look bad after all before the surgery?
Well, I mean, look, plastic surgery is not like having your hair and nails done. It is real surgery. It's serious as cardiac or brain surgery. So even done by the best hands, in the best hands, under the best circumstances, can go very wrong. You can get an infection, bleeding, scarring, doing everything perfectly. So there is the risk that you can be made to look worse. And we tell every patient that. Even a minor operation can go sideways on us. And are you willing to take that risk in order to have the benefit of looking better? And if it's a small operation, maybe. If it's a very large operation, someone who wants a very minor change, I tell them, the enemy of good is better, and beautiful is good enough. Leave it alone. That's what I advise them. Unfortunately, not every plastic surgeon feels that way, and that's when you end up, on E at 10 o'clock on Sunday,
But have you ever had a patient realize after they had the plastic surgery and they didn't like it, and they say, you know what, I think I was cute after all. I think I looked better before my surgery. Do you ever find anybody that tells you that?
Yeah, yes. I mean, you do have patients with buyer's remorse, and that happens particularly after breast implants. And the good news about that is you can just take them out. But if they like their bump on their nose and they want it back, I've never really run into that. I mean, I've certainly run into complications and problems because I'm a high-volume plastic surgeon. But, generally, when you suck fat out, if it heals well, they don't wish they were still chubby again. Or, 99% of the patients are happy. So you occasionally do run into a crazy person that you didn't filter out preoperatively, and then you've got a problem.
Okay. And my last question for you, when people go through plastic surgery, I'm seeing in Hollywood that a lot of people are beginning to look the same, meaning man-made. Either they look like they went to the same plastic surgeon or they all have the same mom and dad. Why is that look becoming so prevalent? It's like the cheekbones and the lips, but everybody's looking the same. Is that what plastic surgery do, or is that when people do too much?
That is a fantastic question. I've been doing interviews all morning. I think that's the best question I've had. But what is really in right now is having fat transfer from the abdomen or the buttock into the face, which achieves this new, I call it the new face, something that everybody has that looks very similar, that doesn't exist in nature. It's that very doughy mid-face widening look. And it's just very in right now, and it's a trend I hope will stop soon, because I don't like it. Because plastic surgery really is about making small improvements and holding back the clock, but not really changing your face and not becoming this one sort of homogenized face that we all have. So I think it's a great question. I don't like that trend in plastic surgery.
Okay, well, I'm glad you answered that for me. And prayerfully, when you come back on, I have another question. We're running out of time now. But I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And I want to remind everyone to make sure they tune in to E's new series entitled BOTCHED. So if you're thinking about plastic surgery, make sure you check this show out Sunday, right after the Kardashians, 10/9 Central on E. Thank you so much, Dr. Dubrow. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.